We're back here on the Yaffee program, News Talk 770 AM, 92.5 FM WVNN. You know who I am, Alabama's voice of reason, of course. By the way, someone texted in, said water is clean this morning in Limestone County, so it seems like a lot of that has been fixed, which is good. Phil Kirpin of American Commitment is going to join me at the bottom of the hour. Right now, though, let's get to those headlines. Once again, we have the Alabama Bullet Points.
Alabama Bullet Points. Today's headlines from around the Yellowhammer State.
Sponsored by Larry's Pistol and Pawn. Number 4 today, Katie Britt and Ted Cruz take Trey's Law to Washington. And they credit Alabama lawmakers for leading the way on this. So U.S. Senators Katie Britt and Ted Cruz out of Texas recently introduced bipartisan federal legislation known as Trey's Law, formerly the Terminating Restrictive Enforcement of Youth Settlements Act. They did this in Washington, D.C. yesterday. Now, the bill aims to void and make unenforceable non-disclosure agreements in civil settlements involving child sex abuse and trafficking, preventing them from silencing survivors and allowing victims to speak freely about their experiences without legal repercussions. Now, this is named in honor of Drake Carlock, a Texas man who suffered childhood sexual abuse, endured re-traumatizing litigation involving an NDA, and tragically died by suicide at 28. So hopefully, this can pass. Number 3 today, Sports Betting Alliance CEO says that Alabama is missing out on up to $100 million annually without legalization. So Joe Maloney is the CEO of Sports Betting Alliance. Now, that is a trade group representing major operators like FanDuel, DraftKings, and others, stated on the Longshore and McKnight podcast that Alabama is missing out on significant tax revenue by not legalizing sports betting. Now, he estimated the state is forfeiting tens of millions of dollars annually, potentially up to $100 million each year, depending on taxation structure and product popularity. Maloney highlighted that neighboring North Carolina generates about $150 million yearly in tax revenue from legalized sports betting, which supports public health initiatives and whatever. I will say this, you can make this about anything. They make the same argument about legalizing marijuana. That's not a reason to do something. I just wanted to point out. Number 2 today, the House Committee approved School 10 Commandments bill, says would meet any kind of legal muster as well. So Alabama House Education Policy Committee approved House Bill 216, sponsored by State Representative Mark Gidley. The legislation will require local boards of education to display the 10 Commandments. Now, it would be accompanied by a contextual statement emphasizing their historical and cultural significance in American and Western civilization in public schools. Now, specifically, displays must be posted in history classrooms for grades 5 through 12 and in common areas accessible to students in 5th grade and above. To avoid any cost to taxpayers, the bill allows schools to accept private donations for the materials. Gidley highlighted collaboration with the governor's office to ensure the measure complies with legal standards, especially addressing potential establishment clause concerns, which I think it does. It should be perfectly legal. And number 1, I'll probably play this cut a little bit later, but Senator Tommy Tuberville says that Democrats' midterm message is to protect all terrorists and protect all illegals. That's right, U.S. Senator Tommy Tuberville, who's also running for governor, was on Fox Business and sharply criticized Democrats in the context of a recent 52-47 Senate vote that blocked the advancement of a war powers resolution. Now, he claimed their platform heading into the midterms boils down to protect all terrorists and protect all illegals, accusing them of prioritizing sanctuary cities and failing to safeguard American interests. He also argued that Congress holds the power of the purse to withhold funding for military actions rather than outright opposing a presidential action initially. And he predicted this perceived misalignment would lead to Democratic losses in the elections. He said, they have the power in Congress. If you don't want to fight a war, don't fight the president at the beginning. You just don't fund it at the end. So there's always been a lot of debate about that. I've seen I've seen different legal opinions. There are some that claim that, no, it's up to Congress to declare war, but seeming the other, and I think history is on our side, where really the president is commander-in-chief, and that if Congress wants to stop a war, they can defund it. And yes, they have the power to declare war, but just because you haven't declared war, that doesn't necessarily mean that the president can't do some kind of military action. So if you want to weigh in, you can. We have our Yaffee text line, 866-494-9866. Right now, I want you to go to Larry's Pistol and Pawn. If you're driving off Greenbrier Exit 3, you see on 565 there, you'll see the big rusty water tower. You can't miss it. Well, right next door, you also can't miss Larry's Pistol and Pawn. The Madison location is huge, and that's because they have so much to sell you, including the best in jewelry. So I know my wife's birthday is coming up. You know, maybe you have an anniversary coming up. Maybe you didn't do well on Valentine's Day, so you want to get something a little bit better. And you're thinking jewelry might be really nice, but, you know, it can cost a lot of money. Well, not at Larry's Pistol and Pawn. You're going to get it for a great deal. They got sales going on all the time. That's because they have more than ever to sell you. They have more diamonds than ever if you want to get engaged. So it means you're going to get it for a great price. You can also put it on layaway. You're going to get great customer service that you're not going to get anywhere else. And they have same as cash financing options. So, yeah, you can go to one of those fancy jewelry stores somewhere else or one at the mall or something. You're going to pay too much, and you're not going to get the selection that you see at Larry's Pistol and Pawn. So go to Larry's Pistol and Pawn today, another location in Huntsville off North Memorial Parkway. And when you do, by the way, see the website as well, pistolandpawn.com. And when you do, let them know you heard about it from Yaffee. All right, Phil Kerpen will join me here in just a moment on the Yaffee program. Stay with us.
You're listening to Yaffee on WVNN.
When you really need care, you need 24/7 access to a care team, not a maze of paperwork from a third party. Every day, America's hospitals and health systems show up for you. Navigating healthcare can feel overwhelming, but you can count on real doctors, real nurses, real people, providing quality, around-the-clock care when you need it most. They're in your corner, in communities across America. Your neighbors, your lifelines, right beside you, holding your hand and helping find answers. That's what putting patients first actually means. Learn more at strengthenhealthcare.org, brought to you by the Coalition to Strengthen America's Healthcare.